entire journey of the Eastern wisdom, if we summarize, it has three words. First word is awakening. So that awakening is that you sometimes you get a spark inside. Oh, that is it. And the real journey starts because that spark gives you a fade. You undergo, but how it comes, because when we are continuously doing the practice, gaining the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom about real self. So after that spark, commitment comes naturally. So after awakening, we have to realize. And after realization, still the journey continues for transformation. The transformation takes time, but the spark is there. Why I said so? You may get upset during the day. You are all seekers, but the moment you get upset, that spark takes your mind within. Come on, nothing to be upset. Let us continue my journey. So once we have that understanding in our intellect, then we are clear. Clear about what? What we are learning. Always keep in mind that every talk focus on who am I, what is this world outside, and what is this existence. Why? I'm a part of the existence, I'm a part of the world. Then why I'm learning, that must be 100% clear in our day-to-day life. I am learning for two reasons: end of suffering and awakening to real self. Why awakening to real self? That is of the nature of permanent peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. So, have you ever thought while sitting alone, do I love peace? Yes, I love peace. So, it means if I love peace, peace is my nature. And then question. So, that gives you an understanding that why I don't live in peace 24 by 7 if peace is my nature. That is the right question in Eastern wisdom. And what is the right question in medical science? I have anxiety. What are the symptoms of? You go on digging yourself only on the anxiety, and stress. Who doesn't live in stress? You become a philosopher. So you become a seeker. I have to get into the peace. You see, the entire thought structure is different. That is why we need to study Eastern wisdom. So, two questions are answered: what we are learning, why, and who is studying, who is learning. Is the person capable, ready? You say, no, no, let me drive your car. Do you have a driving license? No. Then you cannot drive. You're not ready. So, same question we should be asking ourselves. Then the journey becomes beautiful. The last point, and Jack was pointing that you changed my life. Now, what is the source? The source is the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom. So, in order to become a seeker, we are learning fourfold practices. You already understood the knowledge part in the intellect is discernment, clarity. So once that is clear, then behavior. That behavior change takes place by dispassion. So misalignment remains. We already find, I have understood, but still the problem is there. So then we have been learning about the six treasures. First of them is the sama, relax, calm, equanimity of the mind. So that helps us to start working on the mind. Pay more attention, think of it. Think of it. Is mind working on me or I am working on the mind? Anxiety. Mind is working on me or I am working on the mind? Stress. No, I move with affection and love and care to the people. Is mind working on me or I am working on the mind? You will have a clarity. Then we have come to the second treasure, that is Dama. So, normally, for the sake of intellectual understanding, we say sensory control. But that control is not suppression. What is that goal? The cultivating new habits and replacing the old habit. So, old habits are located in the mind as my behavior, as my attitude. So, when we say cultivating new habits in the mind, we channelize sensory perception. So when you channelize that sensory perception, what is sensory perception? I see you. This is one. Sight, sound, touch, taste, smell. Have you ever seen a particular smell triggers a particular emotion, and emotion triggers a particular thought in the mind? Same thing with the sight, same thing with all the five sense organs. So we channelize, we give it a new channel. Channelize. Channelize comes from channel, we have many TV channels. So that's how we understand. You channelize, you switch on. You switch on to the channel. What it means? You will see a person, the mind triggers. Oh, what a crazy guy. Channelize. You're harming your mind. Whether the person is crazy or good, nothing to do with me. Channelize. Did you understand that? That is what the Dama is. Dama is. Our emotion triggers. We get married, we start living with our honey, and gradually, after a couple of years, the mind triggers certain specific emotions. We have to replace it. If there is anything that is causing the problem, are you understanding that? So it means Dama is a practice 24/7. I should live into that awareness. So, what is that means? Can I bypass my sensory perception of sight about you all, as a man, as a woman, as a girl, as a young or old, to one real self? What happens? The mind now has changed. Now the mind is not running after the things outside that may cause trouble, that may cause anxiety, that may cause reaction. Now there is no chance of reaction. We have many yoga teachers. This is real yoga, my friend. Lara, Brandy, and Jerry. This is real yoga. Everything is good. What is happening in the world, popular yoga, styles of yoga, everything is good. We are not criticizing it. We are understanding what is real. So, do you see that? Do you see that you change by channelizing the sensory perception? And this is a very deep and a great science. You can say one very important part of yoga, which is known as upasana. The word is known as upasana, to bring senses to perceive real self, not to perceive anxiety, not to perceive reaction, not to perceive duality, not to perceive. So, what happens when I don't perceive in my mind all those stuff? I'm happy. Look at the role of upasana. So, if we go a little deeper, the word upasana means sitting nearby. So, to whom sitting nearby? Sitting nearby the teacher, sometimes we say sitting nearby the God, sitting nearby the real self. But how? Sitting nearby with the knowledge. From where we get the knowledge? From the discernment, fourfold practice. You see, all are connected. So then dispassion comes, I have to change. Change here is channelizing. That is one meaning of, you can say, upasana. Traditionally, I would say traditionally, or sometime I would say mechanically. You know, that yoga has become a part of a tradition for all, I would say for all Indians, but in a different way. That is not the real thing. Why? You wake up in the morning, you see your car, you worship your car. You are riding a bicycle, so you put some symbolism. Goddess, goddess of power, Durga is there. Huh? I saw Ashok sometime, he was putting a big .com here, offering a prayer. So it has become more or less a mechanical. But when you understand it and then you perform the upasana, it brings a tremendous change. So what I said, I think last session we covered that we change the perception through the mind into the sense organ. All women are goddess. One perception. All women, just for the sake of understanding, are object of pleasure. See, same thing, the women perceives the men as an object of pleasure or the personification of the God. So we use this tool to cultivate new habit and replace the old. Did you get it? And in that upasana, we discussed, yes, I talked about it, goddess of wealth, goddess of power, goddess of knowledge. Are you getting it, Ashok? In your house, apart from your honey, she is a goddess of knowledge, goddess of wealth, goddess of power. So you don't allow your mind to even think, she doesn't know anything, she doesn't practice. That is none of your business. Now, Ashok is very old with me, so I can talk to him. He will not become angry. So here comes the two words that we need to understand in Upasana. One is attachment and other is affection. Now understand, you are living day by day. You go to the store, you see an object, you are pulled by that object. Pulled means you are chasing that object. That is attachment. How many times we are pulled by the sensory channel every day? That triggers your past impression and old habits. and put you in suffering. Are you getting it? So there is two words, attachment, and the other is affection. So in attachment, we are pulled by an emotion to chase a person, an object, a thing. We are pulled by an emotion to feel the sense of affection, sense of self giving, not expecting. This is what the affection is. So when you cultivate new habits, replace the old one, you move into affection. Sometimes it happens, you meet a person, he is totally or she is totally a stranger, and still you feel a sense of affection. We don't recognize it. What we recognize is sense of attachment. Why? Because we are not practicing Dama. So in attachment, you give value to a person, thing, an object, an event outside with a sense of expectation. In Upasana, you give value, or in affection, you give value to the real self. How? You personify. You see the image of the god and goddesses in the world outside. Why I'm doing so? I'm not worshipping God. I'm using the tool to change my mind, moving from attachment to affection. Are you getting it? Attachment to affection. If the attachment continues, it will create a veil on dispassion. You will lose the discernment, the right knowledge to think, speak, and act in the world. You will continue to suffer. So that is what we say it is a misalignment. Are you getting it? Misalignment. So one set of values in attachment leads to craving, expectation, desire outside, and when expectations are not met, then we suffer. And in affection, other set of values to evolve, to come down, to change my perception. That makes my mind very clear. You see, from where we are traveling from discernment, knowledge in the intellect, dispassion in the mind, and now that whatever the misalignment in our personality, attitude, and behavior, we are working on that. Why we are working on that? To become a perfect seeker. You see, when you start learning, sometimes you are capable, you are ready. So first time I went for a driving license in New Jersey in 2007. So I had a license for New Delhi. I was living in the capital, so I had. So they no, you don't need to learn driving. You already know it. So you pass the written examination, and I got the license. So it is not that everyone is on the same footing. What you think you are as a seeker make you capable and ready, even in one go. Another thing that is very important in this, that Dama should be practiced all the time. Why? In the waking state, it is the five sense organs that perceives the respective objects. And if I do not maintain awareness, my mind will go back, misalignment will take place. I have to maintain my awareness. That how the mind through these sense organs perceive the person, an object, a thing, an event. Nobody dare to make you stressed, anxious. That is the rule of Dama. Dama is to be practiced. There is a simple mantra. We have heard Om Namah Shivaya. So you see my index finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I 10, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now, I'm just giving a brief of it. Maybe one day we will complete this. Can you tell me how many sense organs are involved when I say one? Sense of touch, sense of sound, sense of sight. So mind is coordinating all the three. Are you clear? When I say one, how many sense organs I'm touching? I'm seeing, isn't it? And sound is also there, right? Did you understand? How many sense organs are involved when I say by touching one? I see it, I feel it means touch, and I speak it. Do you see that? Do you feel that? It's not a big deal. So now I introduce a mantra. Om Namah Shivaya. So Shiva is a god and originator of yoga. Namah means not me and mine, only you are there. So now with all the three sense organs in the mind, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. So like this I continue by seeing it, feeling it, and touch. Now reduce one sense organ, remove one sense organ, sense of sight. So you do it with eyes open, three sense organs. Now you are doing it with two sense organ with eyes closed. Om Namah Shivaya. Do you see that? Om Namah Shivaya. Now remove another sound. Do it mentally. So what is happening now? The mind that was engaged in three sense organs now only engaged in one sense organ. Do you see sense of touch? This is what the cultivation. Now, what will happen? The time will come when you say Om Namah Shivaya, you perceive your mind has become the eye, your mind has become the touch, your mind has become the sound. Are you getting it? Now the mind is acting as three sense organ, and that too is inside. What will happen? Within few weeks, a new habit is cultivated. So when I used to do it, the time came when I used to say Om Namah Shivaya, I used to feel a tremendous vibration here as if somebody is touching. I see it. Om Namah Shivaya, I see it. I feel it. It sounds like that. But I'm not using any of the sense organs. So after that, what happens? Now you come into the world. So, whatever your mind says, your sense organ perceive the same. What happens? You are in the state of meditation. If you get it, very good. If you don't get it, still very good. You will get it in the next session. Did you get it? So if you start, so the time came, sometime even now, that habit is still there. I'm talking to someone, and by the virtue of the habit, my mind starts, say that, oh, it starts moving these fingers. And I remember, cultivated new habit, replaced old Dama. We are in the journey of becoming a seeker. That leads to the unity. So listen to it again and again and understand. If you have any question, we will definitely work on that. This is the last thing. This is the what Patanjali explained. What Patanjali explained, that I have to practice mantra, japa, upasana with with feeling, with knowledge. Feeling plus knowledge. What is feeling? That this image is the supreme consciousness. Why? I'm not following a cult in dogma, but I'm asking the mind, are you ready to change your habit? Once the habit is changed, drop it. Patanjali is very clear, that master, that you need not to believe in God, no blind belief, but use it as a tool, as an instrument to transform. Let us start our practice. Eyes are closed.